Hi guys, my name is Nigel D. Salmon and I am an author on Amazon. And today I'm going to be showing you how to write a bibliography. Now the first question you have in your mind is, what is a bibliography? And you may know already, but I'm going to start out by explaining what is a bibliography. Now a bibliography is a list of the sources used in the preparation of the manuscript of a book. And of course, I'm dealing with books since I'm an author. So that's the definition. And of course, there's another important thing about writing bibliography is the purpose. You need to know the purpose. What is the purpose of a bibliography? The purpose of a bibliography is to show evidence of the sources for verification of truth. In other words, you're telling the reader, you're showing the reader the evidence of your sources so that the reader can check it out for himself and to say that yes, you are telling the truth. So that's the two things. Is to show evidence, and then it will allow the reader to go and check it out for themselves if they want to do that. Now I'm gonna go into what this video is about now, and that is how to write a bibliography. Now before I show you how to write a bibliography, I must tell you that there are some do's and don'ts about bibliography. Here I'm gonna start with the do's on one side and the don'ts on the other. The first rule about do's is that your bibliography must be in the order of appearance. What this means is that the way the reader comes across each source, that's the way it must be listed in the bibliography. So if you have in chapter 1, you have Jesus calm the sea, the storm, and then you have Lazarus raised from the dead, and you're gonna show where the reader where to find these in the bibliography. Then you must first have Jesus calm the sea, then you have Lazarus raised from the dead. So the bibliography must be in the same order the reader meets the sources. The second rule about the do's is that your bibliography must tell the reader the subject the source is about. Now, if for example, if you have in your book Jesus calmed the storm, then that is the subject. And in your bibliography, you must say that so that the reader knows that this piece of reference you're referring them to, this piece of source you're referring to is about Jesus calm the storm. I will expand on this later on when I'm giving you examples. The third do's is that the bibliography must give name and location of the source. Without these, it doesn't make any sense writing the bibliography. The fourth do's is that the bibliography must give the date you, the writer, has accessed the source where applicable, and I will explain that later when I say where applicable. Now let's look at the don'ts. Now your bibliography, number 1, does not have to be alphabetical. In fact, do not try to write a bibliography alphabetically, because that will come in conflict with rule number 1 of the do's, which says the bibliography must be in the order of appearance. And you cannot write alphabetical has a different order from the order of appearance, so that will be conflicting and cause trouble, cause problem, cause confusion to the reader. So do not try to make the bibliography alphabetical. That's not necessary. Rule number 2 about the don'ts: the bibliography does not have to show page number. So you don't have to put the page number into it. That's optional. Another optional thing is that the bibliography does not have to be called bibliography. So when you're writing the bibliography and it's done, you do not have to put the word bibliography at the top. That's not a must. You can put some things like chapter references or just put the word references. And the last downs is that do not list personal interview sources. And what I mean by that is that if you have personally interviewed somebody and that person is a source, you don't need to say that in your in the bibliography. Okay? You just explain that in the book to the reader. You don't need to list a personal interview which is a source in the bibliography. That's not necessary. So if you personally interview, for example, Barack Obama, there's no need to say in the you don't need to put that in the bibliography to say that Obama is the source of that information, because that's not necessary. You just explain that in the book. Now we are going to go now into, as I was saying, how to write a bibliography. And the first thing we're going to look at is structure. Structuring. How do you structure it? Now there are different sources, and for each source you have to do a different structuring. Here we have, you have website source, you have book source, you have tabloid source, you have newspaper source. If you're when you're writing writing for the website source, it's gonna be different from when you're writing for the book source. So if you get a piece of information from the website and you're gonna list that in the bibliography, you write it different than when you're gonna write about the source you get from a book. And I'm gonna explain that one by one by first starting with book with website source. Let's start from the top. So we start first with website source, and I'm gonna give you an example of how to write your bibliography when you're showing the reader that the piece of information is from a website. So this is how you do it. Here's an example. So in this example here, the first thing you need to do is to list the name of the journalist, or the name of the writer, or the name of the blogger. In this example, let me explain this example first. This is a source where the information is taken from a CNN website, from an article written by Stephen King about Donald Trump ex-lovers. So you, in your book, you include that article about Donald Trump ex-lovers, and you took it from, the writer took it from the CNN website. So now you're explaining to the reader where to find that piece of information. So in the bibliography, this is how you write about a website source. First, you list the name of the journalist, right here, Stephen King. Then you list Donald Trump ex-lover, and this is the subject you're writing about. You remember I wrote about it in the do's, and let me go back over to it quick here, right here, where I said the bibliography must tell the reader about the subject the source is about. Well, here in this example, this would be the subject, Donald Trump ex-lovers. This is what the reader met upon in your book and want to go and check it out for himself. So here you first have the name of the journalist, the subject in the subject that in the book. Then you have CNN, the name of the publishing house, and then you're gonna direct the reader where to find this piece of information that you use. So you say available at www.cnn.com/article/Trump, and don't check this out personally because this is just an example. Then thirdly, you tell the reader the date that you access this piece of information. This is important, and I'm gonna explain that after I just go back over it first. So first you list the name of the writer or journalist or blogger, whatever, the subject that the it's about, that the reader met in the book. Then you tell the reader where it is available, direct the reader where to find it. That's the article about Donald Trump, ex-lovers. And then you tell the reader accessed on February 27, 2017. So the reader knows the date that you access this piece of information. Just in case the information is updated after this date, you can protect yourself by saying you have accessed it on February 27. So that's how you write when you're telling the reader about a website source. You first list the name of the journalist or the writer or the blogger, and then the subject that the reader come across in the book, which is Donald Trump ex-lovers. This is what the reader want to get more information about. Then you put CNN or CBS or Amazon or wherever the whichever whoever website the article is on. You put their name right here. In this case, CNN. Then you direct the reader by saying it is available at, and you give the website link. Then you tell the reader when you access that piece of information. So you say accessed February 27, 2017. So that's how you write the website source in your bibliography. Now we're gonna go in. So that's how you write it. So and remember, guys, that this up here, this part, website source, don't add this here. This is how it's gonna look in your book. Okay, so this is how it would actually look in your book when you write the book. So if your book has chapters, you must state which chapter. So if it's under chapter 1, if the whole thing about Donald Trump is under chapter 1, you have chapter 1. Then you have the rest of the same information here. So this is how it would finally look in the book. Now we're gonna go now on how to write a book source in your book. So you're gonna tell the reader that where the source that you use is from a book, and this is how you write it. So we're gonna look now on book source. And here's another example. So in your book, you mention my book, How to Write Fiction by Nigel, how to write fiction and non-fiction. So when you're writing a book source, the first thing you do is to write the name of the author. In this case, that's my name, Nigel D. Salmon. You write the subject that the reader came across, the topic that the reader came across. Remember it? Writing children's stories. Then you write the page number in the book where this piece of information is located. Put a colon, and then you write the name of the book. Then you explain where the book is available. In this case, it's an Amazon book. And then you put the date of the year that you access the book, and then you have available at, so you directly read the reader where to find the book. Okay, so here it is now. This is how you write a website, a book source. First you put the name of the author, then you put the subject, the topic that you wrote from the book, the page number, the name of the book. In this case, it's an Amazon book, so you put Amazon book, and the year that you access the book, and then you give direction to where the book is available. The word here, book source, don't put it there. That's just an example. Okay, I just put that there. So take this out. Put chapter. If your book has chapters, put it there. But of course, depending on where this fall in the list, you don't have to put the word chapter there. So this should not be there. Book sources. Don't put book sources there. They're just showing you that this is how you would write a book source. You would tell the reader about a book source. Now we're gonna look at newspaper and tabloid source. So you wrote your book and you get some information, your source, so the source of a piece of information is either from a newspaper or from a tabloid. Now you're gonna tell the reader in the bibliography that it's from them. So how do you do that? I'm gonna just put everything into one page so we can get it clear here. So if the source is from a tabloid, right here, tabloid source, remember, don't put this here. This is how you would write it. So here we have you access the New York Times, and on page 33 you read about Donald Trump's secrets. So now you're gonna tell the reader how to find it themselves. So this is how you write it. First, you write the topic, Donald Trump secrets. Well, I guess a lot of us would want to know that, right? And then you write the name of the tabloid that this piece of a source comes from, and which is in this case New York Times. Then you need to state the date of publication, which is February 28, 2017. And then to help the reader further, you will tell the reader the page that Donald Trump secrets is, that article is written. So it's with page 33. So let's go over it now. So we have Donald Trump secrets. That's what the reader read about in your book. Interesting to know where it's from. It is from the New York Times. And which publication? The one on February 28, 2017. Which page? Page 33. If it is a newspaper source, you would list it something like this. So in this case, the reader read about Usain Bolt double wins, and the reader wants to know where you get this piece of information from. This would be from the Sunday Gleaner in this case, and the reader would want to know which page. So you would have page 3, and the reader would want to know which section of the newspaper, and it would be the sports section. And as I say, guys, do not put the word newspaper source or tabloid source or website source. Don't add those there. Just put those there to help explain what I'm explaining to you. So really, that's how you write a bibliography in a book. So guys, thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel because I have such a low subscribers and I want more. So subscribe, and remember, check out my website www.nigeldsalmon.com, where you can get a lot more information, and check out my other videos. And thanks for watching.